Today I would like to talk about durotomy and duroplasty, which is one of the mainstay part of procedures in neurosurgery. So, in durotomy, after we open the bone or expose the dura, the next thing that we would like to do is to assess the tissues, whether it be the brain or it be the spinal cord beneath the durameter. This is performed in both cranial and spinal surgeries. And before you open the dura, sometimes you would like to make tenting or take up sutures to prevent epidural hemorrhage after closing the dura. And then before we make the first incision using the scissors, we create a small opening by using a silk thread, and then a blade is used for the initial incision. And then you would like to insert some cotonoid. It's like a gauze, but it's more friendly for the brain tissue, and it's smaller. It can be inserted to prevent injury. After that, we can use tissue scissors such as Epson to enlarge that opening. There are many ways to to incise the dura, but typically it follows a letter C shape, or we can also use the B or Y shape here for retrosigmoid mainly. And then stenlit can also be used in the compressive hemicraniectomy cases. And after you are done doing your work in the inside the dura, then we have to suture back the dura to prevent leakage. This is called duroplasty. The first principle is that if the dura can be reapproximated safely, we should prioritize primary suture. But if not, for example, when the part of dura is removed as a mass of meningioma or when the brain is swelling, we can harvest some fascia from the underlying skin, and or we can also use dural substitutes, artificial ones. The first thing that we would like to do is to secure key points, and then we run the continuous suture from the beginning to the end of the dural incision part. And one of the many things that I have heard, they said that dural closure has to be watertight, but it's actually a myth. It has been disproven. It is only achievable when you are applying glues or adhesives, and in extreme cases, for example, in temporal base, or you are trying to seal the dura from fragile areas, and you cannot do that. You can just take up with fat tissues. For the suturing thread material, you can use Silk 3.0. It's usually 17 millimeters in diameter with half a circle and has a tapered round body. And dural substitutes, there are many in the market, but primarily they will use PLA or dural matrix for regeneration. And also I have mentioned about dural sealant. And this is the study that I have come across, that watertight dural closure is basically not achievable. You can only use uh, glue or adhesive materials such as cyanoacrylate or other ones available on the market. And now let's move to the practical session of the video. And now the dura, for the dura on the other side, we will repeat the process that we have used earlier. Let's just pretend this is the edge of the dura that we are going to cut up. We hold it like this, and then using an 11 scissor, an 11 blade with the sharp edge to the top, we are going to carefully make a cut. Okay, once it's finished, we can continue using our bipolar and the suction to put the cotonoid. And for the first areas, we can use a trim version of the cotonoid, make it like a triangulated. For ease of use. We can make another incision. Oops. Go over to the other side. Move over. Oh, nice. In this video, we are going to suture the dura. But as you see in this case, it looks a little different. Because the dura we are suturing is not intact. This usually happens when you have evacuated a mess or something else, and we have to find some ways to take the dura around. So what we are going to do is attach this little strip of fascia here to the dura. It quite neatly fits. Okay. We've got to find some ways around it. This is our little holder, and we still have some leftover one need. And we have still some leftover this thing. Catgut. So what you would usually do is to first make some pivot points here. nicely done. And now we can tie up this mesh. Let's get up this way. After we secure both edges, we are going to run that way first. Notice that I'm doing this in freehand with no supports, because when you are in the operating room, there will be no arm support. But I do recommend an arm support, especially if you have a tremor like me. You want to make sure that these are watertight. Although in practice, you will not be that watertight that much, because it's a myth. It's been disproven. Water tightness is only achievable using fibrin glue or other similar materials. And for this edge, notice that in order to make it pretty, I had to use the backhand technique. Ouch! I almost got hit by that thing. See? Now we have our patch.